Every minute, someone in America is given a diagnosis of a disease that shatters their view of the future. Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia that is an irreversible progressive brain disorder that slowly destroys memory, thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest of tasks. The symptoms of Alzheimer's disease and dementia include memory problems, confusion, personality changes, and reasoning difficulties. And today, in the US alone, there are over 5.8 million American citizens over the age of 65 living with Alzheimer's, and at least an estimated 50 million worldwide. On an annual basis, Alzheimer's costs the US roughly $305 billion, and by 2050, estimates project this to increase to as much as $1.1 trillion per year. Today, most patients with Alzheimer's are diagnosed at the mild dementia stage, only when patients have already experienced significant memory and thinking issues. This needs to change. Aging individuals who are the most likely to develop Alzheimer's need to have better opportunities to be monitored for cognitive deficiencies, which are often indicative of Alzheimer's or dementia. Although there is no cure for Alzheimer's, an earlier diagnosis for Alzheimer's results in many benefits for the healthcare system, patients, and their families. If the aggregate amount of all Americans alive today who will ever develop Alzheimer's are diagnosed earlier when they only have mild cognitive impairments, it would save the US $7.9 trillion. In addition to the cost savings for patients and the government, earlier diagnosis enables patients to enroll in clinical trials for new therapies and also allows them to adjust their lifestyle habits to slow cognitive decline and maximize the time they spend with their friends and family. Physicians today use a variety of tests to help make a diagnosis, with the two main categories being physical tests such as medical history reviews, and the second category of cognitive tests, which are used to screen for symptoms of cognitive impairment. Given the already prevalent use of cognitive testing, but the unmet need of a greater degree of cognitive monitoring and earlier diagnosis, we created Syne, a screening and data processing platform for cognitive impairment monitoring. Syne helps HCPs screen for changes in cognitive impairment as aging patients routinely get tested over time. The process is twofold. Part A assists HCPs with the administration of the standard MMSE cognitive test, and Part B utilizes an innovative EEG test, which has become more and more established within academia as a screening method for Alzheimer's. EEG is a test which detects electrical activity in your brain using electrodes attached to your scalp. In addition to the data gathering tools, the key value proposition of our platform is the EEG data analysis using signal processing algorithms. And as aging patients routinely complete cognitive checkups, which take an average of about 10 minutes each, Syne can track how the patient's cognitive status changes over time and can generate insights to inform HCP diagnostic decisions. In Part A for the MMSE test, we created a WordPress website along with a form to enter patient results, which can inform the severity of cognitive impairment. And in Part B, we first gathered the EEG data using an open BCI, which produces data as shown in the video on the left. The data is then stored as a .pdf file and is imported into Google Colab Notebook and then decomposed into alpha and theta frequency bands using a Butterworth filter. By calculating the alpha coherence and the theta power markers, we can compare them to literature values in academic studies to screen for cognitive impairments. We've created a method to share the results of the assessments and the insights generated from the dual method test as a proof of concept, but looking into the future, privacy and security would be a much greater concern. Future features could also include EHR integrations, EEG training modules for HCPs, and ML-driven data analysis, which would generate even more meaningful insights, especially as more and more data is gathered and processed. Our market strategy for Syne would be to first focus on partnerships with small-scale Alzheimer's-focused providers in the US, where our platform could be used to routinely monitor aging patients for cognitive impairments, which will improve patient outcomes and will allow us to improve our data analysis methods. Once our model and techniques have been successfully developed to screen for cognitive impairment with an extremely high reliability, we could scale across the US, becoming more readily adopted by traditional providers before attempting to enter international markets where we would have to abide by a myriad of rules and regulations. In summary, Syne is a platform that enables a dual method screening process, including an EEG analysis, which is supported by academic research to screen for cognitive impairments, which can inform HCPs of the cognitive statuses of their aging patients. This will statistically result in the earlier Alzheimer's diagnosis, resulting in massive cost savings, will enable patients to access treatment options earlier, will allow them to plan their future with knowledge, and will overall improve patient outcomes. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation.